Hello and welcome to Eat, Sleep, Box and Repeat. My name is Doey. Today I'm joined by WBO Global Welterweight title holder, Mikey McKinson. How you doing, Mikey? You okay, mate?
Can't complain, mate. I'm very good, very good.
How you coping with this heat? Are you a fan of the hot weather?
Do you know what? I'm not a fan of the hot weather. I'm not a fan when it's winter either. You know, I can never be pleased.
Just take whatever comes.
Yeah, that's it.
So, just so for those of us that maybe don't know a little bit about you, Mike, Michael or Mikey?
You can call me whatever you want, mate. You can call me whatever you want. Some people call me Mikey. Some people call me Michael. Some people call me Mike.
All right. So I'll go with Michael because this is our first time speaking, so we get to know you a bit more. So, so Michael, for those of you that don't know you, you've got a 20-0 record. You were sort of, is it fair to say you were sort of on the outside looking in? And for some people, the first thing they may have really been like, oh, you know, there's something to this guy, was your win over Congo in the last fight camp, I believe it was. For a quick start, what's your sort of like history in boxing? How are you here? How did you get to this point? What got you going?
Kind of a family business. Like, my dad's my trainer and my brother's also a professional boxer. So we kind of grew up boxing. It's the only thing we kind of know. So we both turned pro at a young age. I think I was 19, 20, he was 18. We turned pro in the same year. But we didn't have the best amateur pedigree. Like, I didn't have the best amateur pedigree. I was a good amateur, but I never had my fair share of the luck, you know. So I've had to do it the harder route than most in the professional game, but it's finally paying off.
And before, you know, you say it's finally paying off, is it fair to say that, well, not, it felt like to sort of the fans and to us that you were sort of on the outside looking in. You had to do quite a lot of talking maybe to get your name out there a little bit. What was it like for you being on the outside looking in, if you want?
It was frustrating. You look at my record, not many people knew who Michael McKinson was, but you look at my record, I'm fighting dangerous guy after dangerous guy for hardly anything, you know, and that was like that for a while. I didn't really get a lot of credit. I just needed my one opportunity on the big stage, and it came in March. Got the phone call, will you fight Chris Congo in 6 weeks? It was a fight I was calling for as well. So I took it and took that opportunity with both hands, and the rest is history, as they say, you know. Went out, it was in Gibraltar, went out to Gibraltar. Not many people in the boxing world favoured me, backed me. I was looking at Twitter polls by all week, like fight week, boxing experts writing me, oh, Chris Congo's going to walk through McKinson, blah, 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 blah. I went out there and beat him quite comfortably, you know. So now the target's on my back for a change. People are looking at me. Like, my name's up there with the big names now. So I'm excited for my future. I'm very focused on my next fight, but I'm very excited for my future.
And you sort of stole where I was going with a little bit of this, was that you've come from the outside looking in, and your mantra before this, or before the Congo fight, was very much give me a chance and watch what I do. And that's what, like, what you were saying on Twitter, you were saying in interviews, and it was just like, put me on that stage and watch me do what I do. And you did it. So now with that target on your back, what's the feeling this time? Does it feel different? Does it feel, I don't know, how does it feel?
The motivation and the vision is the same. I'm going into my next fight as the favourite, which is new territory for me. Maybe if this fight was made before the Congo fight, I wouldn't have been the favourite. But the vision's still the same, you know. I've got to go. I'm nowhere near where I want to be in my career. I've got a great win. I've had a great year so far, but I'm nowhere near where I want to be. I'm really ambitious. So as long as I can keep learning, keep focused, the world's mine.
Yeah. Is it still underdog mentality? Do you know you might be coming into the favourite, but
always the underdog mentality, you know. I'll never look past any opponent. This opponent's coming off a couple of real good knockout wins. He's very confident. he's very hungry, and he thinks he's going to knock me out like the 20 before him. They all had a plan, and they all come unstuck, you know. So as long as I prepare the right way, like I always do, I'm very confident in bringing that win back to Portsmouth.
And Ranowski has got a good record, 1 loss in 20. He's not like a knockout artist or whatever. He just seems to be like a very solid boxer. But his only loss comes against fellow Brit Josh Kelly, who just did a convincing job on him, a like wide decision. Is there anything you can take from that? Do you feel like you can just go out there and do a wide points decision with him, or is it like, do you want to go a little bit further and see if you can get a stoppage, or what's your thinking for the fight?
Josh did everything but knock him out. Josh is very skillful. He's a very talented fighter. This guy is a very tough fighter, and since his defeat to Josh Kelly, he's bounced back he's on a good knockout run. He's looked good his last few fights and stuff like that. So yeah, I wouldn't take too much from the Kelly defeat. I would like to look at his more recent performances. But you know, a well-prepared Michael McKinson's a problem for absolutely anyone. So I'm not too fussed of what he's doing or what he's got his plan or whatever like that. I'm focused on myself, because I know when I focus on myself, good things can happen.
That's good. And you, without looking past the fight, because actually no, let's look at the fight for one quick question. What do you see about Ranowski then, and especially in his recent fights? Like, what skill does he have, or what's his biggest strength that you have to overcome?
I think his confidence at the moment. His confidence is doing him good at the moment. He's coming off a couple of good knockout wins. He's very dangerous, just because he didn't have many knockouts early in his career. It goes to show that at the moment he's in real good form. You know, I'm not looking too much at Ranowski. Like I said, like I'm focused on myself, and I know when I focus on like, for example, the Chris Congo fight. I didn't watch any footage of Chris Congo beforehand. I didn't watch any interviews that he had to say beforehand. I didn't care about Chris Congo. I focused on myself, and look what happened. You know, we've seen a bit of Ranowski. My team have definitely studied him, and I've seen little bits of him as well. And I know a well-prepared me beats Ranowski, and it's a fight where I think I can look good doing it.
That's good. And with if let's say that if you're not going to focus on Ranowski personally, which you may or may not do, is it fair to say that you've alluded to it a bit there, where your dad and your team around you, they'll do their research and sort of bring some of that into the way you train?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Just because I don't look too much into him, when he's still on my mind 24/7. You know, he's like, until fight night, I'm obsessed with him. You know, so just because I don't look too much into him and study him too much and stuff like that, I've seen bits. I've seen more on Ranowski of what I wanted to see of Congo beforehand, you know. I'm very confident. I'm very focused right now. I'm away training at the moment. I'm very focused. But more importantly, I'm excited because now I had my opportunity on a big Matchroom show. Now I'm a Matchroom fighter, you know. So on the A side for a change. Like, I've got great backing from MTK. They're a great management team. So I'm excited. As long as I can stay focused, there's exciting times ahead. So
looking ahead slightly then, and I don't want to assume you're going to win, because I know that your focus will be on just this fight. But let's speculate. Past this fight, we've got quite a good domestic sort of situation for this division. You've got Josh Kelly's, and you've got Conor Ben's and people like that. Do you ever give any thought to a matchup with Josh Kelly down the line, or a matchup with Conor Ben?
That's all I've thought about the past 4 years. Them guys, you know, and I've said it in interviews plenty of times. It's them guys that we want to fight. But if I don't do a job on Ranowski, there's no point looking at them guys, you know. So I know the job I've got in hand. I now at a stage where I don't so much have to call people out because I'm in the limelight a little bit now, which is a good thing. But let me get this job done on August the 14th, and then I'll make some noise. It's no secret that I want them big fights. I've said it for a long, long time, but I've got a job to do first, and let me focus on that, and then we'll see what the future holds.
Do you think that
it's not just the domestic guys? It's not just the domestic guys. That's great for like the British public, but I've got a good ranking with the WBO.
Well, so your WBO ranking is number 4. The only people above you in that ranking is obviously Terence Crawford, who holds the belt, Virgil Ortiz Jr., I'm looking at my notes, Sean Porter and Mikey Garcia. That's not bad company to be in a top sort of 5 list with.
I know, not bad company at all. So you look at them names and you think, wow, like he's amongst names now. People think, oh, like I'm not actually that far away. Like on paper, I'm not. So yeah, like the British fights are great. They're great for Britain and stuff like that. I would love them. But look at the world rankings as well. We don't have to focus on Britain. And like there's some real life-changing fights out there for me. But I need to win first and win in style against Ronowski.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, again, with that, you don't want to assume you don't want to look past this fight. You don't want to take anything for granted. You've obviously got to do a job this time. But do you know when you look at those names and your Virgil Ortiz Jr.'s, your Sean Porter's, Mikey Garcia's, Terence Crawford, do you put yourself in that bracket yet? Or do you start to think, no, I need to work a little bit more? Where do you place yourself in these rankings?
See, with me, how I see it is, where do I see myself in 12 months? Where do I see myself in 18 months? Because I'm still on my way up, you know. Yeah. Them guys are at the top. I'm still on my way up, and as long as I keep learning and keep developing like how I am, in 12, 18 months, why not? You know, why not be amongst them guys and be at that level? Like if a call came for it, of course I would take the fight. You know, but I'm learning. I know that if I stay focused to my craft, in 18 months, who knows where I'll be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've seen a lot of your interviews and over the years, and a lot of the things you say is that you're like a real joy for MTK, kind of a nag at times, because whenever fight comes up, or like, you just, yes, I'll take that fight, I'll take that fight. Let's talk about a dream fight. Have you ever pictured where your dream fight is? Is it Vegas against Terence Crawford? Is it Madison Square Garden? Is it taking it home to Portsmouth? Have you got anything that you're like, yes, those are the things I want to tick off in my career?
There's obviously a bucket. There's a bucket in boxers' careers, and I would love to go over the States and fight in Vegas. I would love to do that. Look, the ultimate goal for me is to headline a show on Fratton Park in Portsmouth. For me and my city, that would be amazing. That would be like a dream come true. That's probably my ultimate, like my dream fight would be on Fratton Park. And that's a dream I only ever spoke about. But each win I have, it's becoming more and more realistic that it could happen one day, you know. But yeah, take me to America. I'd love to. You know, all these things I'd love to do.
That's good. And just in closing, because I know you've got stuff to focus on, you need to rest up and get ready for training and all that sort of stuff. You've got a good support back in Portsmouth. I know that. I see it on Twitter. I see the support on boxing groups on Facebook. What's the message to your fan base, your city? What's the message as you build up to this next big win? Yeah,
they really me nowadays. Like even when I was out in Gibraltar, nobody could travel. Like for my last couple of fights, they haven't been able to be there. But the amount of love I've got this year, especially from that Congo fight, and the amount of support the club get behind me as well. I'm real in with Portsmouth FC. So yeah, I'm really humbled by the support of my city. I'm pretty proud to be flying the flag right now for my city. So I know it's been a long time since they've been able to see me fight, and obviously the next show, it's quite difficult to be able to afford tickets for it. So I get this win, and then I promise a big night where all my fans can travel to watch me fight, hopefully before the end of the year, you know. So all tune in August the 14th. Let me do my job, and then we can talk about what's next, and I'll give everyone something to be excited about.
There you have it, August 14th, Fight Camp number 3 with Matchroom, Michael McKinson against Ranowski, and hopefully another win for you, mate. Onwards and upwards, stay in that limelight.
Brilliant, mate. Thank you very much.
There we go. From ESBR Boxing, thank you very much for your time, mate. I really appreciate it. Hope Fight Camp and training and all that stuff goes really well. Take care of yourself, and we'll chat to you again soon.
Nice one, mate. Thank you very much.
Take care, mate.
Bye.